I had been drinking that night, and I actually veered over the yellow line, hit the other car. They had to get fire and rescue, and they cut me out of the vehicle. And when they transported me to Vanderbilt, Dr. Sharp said that he actually pronounced me dead on arrival. I was bleeding out of my mouth and ears and nose, and they knew I had major internal injuries. I was unresponsive. They told my family that since I was a vegetable, I didn't have any activity on the lower lobes of my brain, that they needed to go ahead and make funeral arrangements. But my mother refused to make funeral arrangements. She decided she was going to go and pray. And she went to the little prayer room there at Vanderbilt Hospital, laid over the altar, and stayed there for 10 hours. And so Dr. Sharp said that, he pronounced me dead on arrival. He told me that himself. And that something, though, spoke to him when he started to send me to the morgue to bring me back and do what he knew to do. So they brought me back and started doing emergency surgery. They gave me eventually 124 units of blood that kept me alive on life support. Only thing I can tell you is that God had mercy on me and allowed me to have an out-of-body experience. I walked through the hallway of the hospital, and immediately I walked through a door. And when I did, I was in this small chapel, and I walked up to the front, and I saw my mother, and she had her hands up, and she was saying, "Father, in Jesus' name, don't let Rick die lost. Raise him up, give him another chance." And I listened to my mother pray, and then I spoke to her, and I said, "Mom, here I am. Why are you praying for me?" And she looked in my direction. She looked around like she heard something, but she couldn't see me, and she went back to praying. Well, at that moment, I just felt like something said to me, "You need to do what she's doing now." So I lifted up my head, I lifted up my hands, and I looked toward the ceiling, and I said, "Jesus, if you're real, help me. Mom is praying for me. Something must be wrong." And immediately I felt a huge hand cover the top of my head. I heard a voice behind me that said, "I'm Jesus. I'm real, and I'm going to raise you up and give you another chance." Now, half of my family were in the hallway, and they were arguing over where they were going to bury me. My mother said that some were saying Tennessee, others saying Alabama. Well, she'd left and went to the prayer room, and she told everybody, "Listen, she's not talking to nobody about burial. She's going to go pray and raise the dead." A nurse walked in and said, "I'm looking for the relatives of Richard Madison." My mother said, "That's my son, and I'm not making funeral arrangements." And she said, "Well, I'm here to tell you that your son is awake, and he's sitting up." And by that time, there were 10 doctors standing around my bed, and they were trying to tell me I had a lot of willpower, a lot of stamina. And I wrote down Jesus on a piece of paper. I had a trach in my throat. My mouth was wired shut. They'd placed 3 steel plates, 19 screws, and 2 pins in the broken bones a few days earlier. And one of the doctors said, "Look, he's wrote down something," and he started spelling it, Jesu, and then he was embarrassed. And another doctor said, "Well, it's got to be Jesus. He's alive," because we gave up on him. I actually walked back into my the bone specialist's office a few weeks after that, Dr. Marion Harper at Vanderbilt Hospital, and he told me I probably would never walk again, and maybe a year before I could use a walking apparatus. And I walked into his office with a walking stick, and he just couldn't believe it. He just said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Jesus told me to stand up and walk out of the wheelchair," and I did. He just shook his head, and he said, "I've never seen the things go on like I've seen with you, how your family pray, and I don't understand all that, but it's working for you, so you stay at it." Well, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for a praying mama. Thank God for praying mamas.
How great the love of Jesus Christ. Upon the cross of Calvary, the blood was shed that pardons me. No